When the world as we know it grinds to a halt, the most immediate danger might not be from faceless mobs or distant threats. It could be lurking right next door. The friendly faces you see every day, the neighbors you share a casual wave with, could become your greatest risk when desperation takes hold. In a world turned upside down, the line between community and competition blurs frighteningly fast. What will they be after? Not your gold, not your gadgets, but the simple, everyday items you take for granted right now. These ordinary supplies will become the new currency in a world without stores, and their value will skyrocket. If your neighbors find out you have a stockpile of these essentials, you and your family could instantly become a target. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on 6 seemingly harmless items that you'll need to fiercely protect. Knowing what they are is the first step to securing your home and staying off the radar when it matters most. If you're serious about protecting what's yours when society unravels, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Point 1. The liquid lifeline. When the taps sputter and die, the fragile veneer of civilization cracks almost immediately. You can survive for weeks without a meal, but without water, the human body begins its rapid, unforgiving shutdown in just 3 days. In the chaotic aftermath of a collapse, clean drinking water will not just be a resource, it will become the single most valuable commodity on the planet. It's the first thing your neighbors will desperately seek, and if they know you have it, you become their primary objective. Consider the domino effect. The moment the power grid fails, municipal water systems lose pressure. Within hours, the water that flowed so freely from your faucet will slow to a trickle, then stop entirely. The vast reservoirs that supplied your town will become stagnant pools. This is when true panic ignites. People will start scavenging, driven by a primal thirst. They'll turn to questionable sources, creeks, stagnant ponds, even puddles in the street, risking deadly waterborne illnesses out of sheer desperation. And if they have even a hint that you were prepared, your home is no longer a sanctuary. It's a target. That casual conversation you had months ago about your emergency water jugs, the delivery person who saw cases of bottled water in your garage, these fleeting moments become dangerous liabilities. In a crisis, memories of your preparedness transform into maps leading directly to your front door. Protecting your water supply becomes a high-stakes game of concealment. Never store it all in one obvious place. Distribute your cash throughout your property, under floorboards, in the back of closets, inside mislabeled boxes in the attic, or even in buried containers in your yard. If one stash is discovered, you won't lose your entire lifeline. Disguise your containers. Brightly colored, purpose-built water barrels scream prepper. Instead, use cleaned-out soda bottles, opaque food-grade buckets, or unassuming storage totes. In a world where standing out is a death sentence, blending in is your best defense. Point 2. The power to cook. After the initial shock of a collapse, people will scramble for food, but a critical, often overlooked problem will quickly emerge. How will they cook it? Without functioning gas lines or electricity, a well-stocked pantry is just a collection of cold, hard-to-digest calories. This is when cooking fuel, propane canisters, charcoal, butane, and even simple bundles of firewood becomes more precious than gold. If your neighbors find out you have the means to heat a meal, you'll have to guard it with your life, because your survival will depend on it. Modern society has largely forgotten the art of preparing food without the push of a button. Most people have no idea how to build and maintain a fire safely, let alone have the necessary tools. As the last of the food in their thawing freezers spoils, a new wave of panic will set in. Your small stack of propane canisters or the woodpile behind your shed will suddenly represent the difference between a hot, morale-boosting meal and a cold, grim existence. This is where the danger escalates. Fuel creates signals. The smell of cooking food travels farther than you think, and a column of smoke is a beacon that can be seen for miles. To desperate onlookers, smoke means fire, and fire means food. That's when they'll come knocking, first asking, then demanding, and eventually taking. Unlike a garden, fuel is portable. A few propane tanks can be carried away in a backpack. A bag of charcoal can be slung over a shoulder. Once it's gone for good. Your defense strategy must be built on concealment and diversification. Don't keep your entire supply in one convenient spot. Hide the bulk of it in unexpected places. Inside old coolers, under a pile of junk in the garage, or in storage bins labeled holiday decorations. If you rely on wood, Scatter your pile. Keep a small amount visible for daily use, but hide the rest. Furthermore, master silent cooking methods now. A solar oven, a well-made rocket stove, or an alcohol burner can cook a meal with minimal smoke and noise. In a post-collapse world, a roaring fire is an open invitation for trouble. A low-profile cooking method is a shield. Point 3. The spark of modern life. When the grid fails and the world is plunged into darkness, batteries become the lifeblood of survival. They are the fragile bridge between the suffocating black of night and the reassuring glow of a flashlight, between unnerving silence and a radio crackling with vital information. Forget gold or cash. In a world without power, people will hunt for a different kind of currency: AA, AAA, CD, and 9-volt batteries. Your simple flashlight becomes a priceless tool, and without a power source, it's just a piece of useless plastic. The dependency goes far beyond light. Consider the essential gear that relies on batteries: headlamps for hands-free work, walkie-talkies for communication, portable medical devices, and even some advanced water purifiers. Here's the critical vulnerability. Most people will exhaust their battery supply within the first few days. Instinct will drive them to turn on flashlights and leave them running. Their power will drain quickly, and that's when their focus will shift to your supplies. The risk of theft is immense because batteries are small, easily pocketed, and simple to conceal. A neighbor who is a friend today might rationalize taking a pack of AAs tomorrow, believing they aren't stealing but securing their family's survival for another night. Smart preparation is your greatest asset. Never consolidate your batteries into a single, obvious container. Distribute them in multiple hidden stashes. Use decoy containers, an old box with a few dead batteries on top to conceal the fresh ones beneath. For long-term storage, seal them in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers to prevent corrosion. The ultimate game changer, however, is investing in a solar battery charger. No matter how large your stockpile, it is finite. A solar charger gives you the ability to indefinitely recharge your most used batteries, making you truly self-reliant. Also, think about hoarding less common sizes. While everyone stocks up on AAs, D-cells, and 9 volts for larger radios and equipment will become exceptionally rare and valuable. In this new economy, a single pack of batteries could be traded for food, medical supplies, or crucial information. They are the spark of hope in a dark world. Point 4. The silent calorie multiplier. When you imagine a post-collapse pantry, you probably picture cans of beans and bags of rice. But one of the most overlooked and valuable items will be something far simpler: cooking oil. This household staple will quietly become liquid gold, not just for its flavor, but for its fundamental role in survival. Whether it's vegetable oil, olive oil, or coconut oil, this single ingredient is a powerful calorie multiplier, making dense, raw foods like grains and legumes more palatable, digestible, and energy efficient. Without it, survival rations become a grim, joyless chore to consume. The value of cooking oil extends far beyond the frying pan. It's a versatile tool with dozens of uses that most will only remember when it's too late. It can be used to season and protect cast iron cookware from rust, keep the handles of tools and axes from splitting, and even serve as a lubricant for moving parts on equipment or firearms. A thin layer can protect skin from windburn or reduce the risk of frostbite in cold weather. This utility makes it a bartering powerhouse. The problem is that it's a consumable resource that is nearly impossible to produce at home without specialized presses and a significant harvest of olives, seeds, or nuts. Most households will deplete their supply within weeks. That's when the danger begins. As your neighbors are struggling to stomach dry, boiled rice, the smell of your cooking could travel, signaling that you have a resource they lack. A single bottle of oil could be traded for almost anything, but it also paints a target on your back. To protect it, diversify your stock. Coconut oil has a very long shelf life and is solid at room temperature, making it easy to store discreetly. Olive and vegetable oils are versatile but need to be stored in cool, dark places to prevent them from going rancid. Conceal your main supply away from the kitchen. Store extra bottles in opaque containers labeled with boring descriptions like cleaning supplies or old paperwork. In a world where every calorie counts, your hidden cache of cooking oil is not just for making food taste better, it's a strategic asset that provides comfort, preserves tools and offers incredible leverage. Point 5. The life-saving formula. In the chaos following a societal collapse, nothing will incite desperation faster than the sudden cutoff of prescription medications. While many focus on food and water, the reality is that millions of people depend on daily pharmaceuticals to live. Insulin, blood pressure medication, asthma inhalers, antibiotics, and even simple pain relievers will become more valuable than any precious metal. When the pharmacies are shuttered and supply chains cease to exist, a functioning society dependent on medicine will face a terrifying crisis. The urgency will be immediate and lethal. This threat isn't limited to those with chronic conditions. In a world without modern sanitation or healthcare, minor injuries can lead to deadly infections. Stress and poor nutrition will trigger cardiac events. The ability to treat pain, reduce fever, or fight an infection will become a form of immense power. The dark truth is that this power makes you a target. The desperation of a parent with a sick child will erase any moral lines they once respected. If they know you have a supply, they will do whatever it takes to get it. Your first line of defense is discretion. Starting now, quietly build a surplus by refilling prescriptions early, using 90-day mail-order supplies, and discussing emergency preparedness with your doctor. Storage is your next critical layer of security. Many medications are sensitive to heat and moisture, so a cool, dark, and dry location is essential. For temperature-sensitive drugs like insulin, a non-electric solution like a small, solar-powered cooler or a traditional evaporative pot-in-pot cooler is a necessity. In the barter economy that emerges, a single course of antibiotics could be traded for a month's worth of food. To protect this asset, never reveal your full supply. Store medications in unlabeled containers and hide them in unconventional places. Sealed within bulk food storage, inside hollowed-out books, or in a lockbox disguised as something uninteresting. When a neighbor's life is on the line, they won't be the person you once knew. Guarding your medical supplies is not about hoarding. It's about controlling a resource so powerful it can save lives or, if discovered, end yours. Point 6. The currency of power. When the grid collapses into permanent darkness, society will quickly learn a hard lesson. Modern survival gear is useless without electricity. While others scramble for the last remaining candles, the truly prepared will understand that the new currency is batteries. Every AA, AAA, C, D, and 9-volt battery becomes a treasure. They are the spark that brings essential tools to life, from flashlights and headlamps to two-way radios, medical monitors, and security sensors. Without them, your expensive equipment is nothing more than dead weight. A flashlight is just a plastic tube, and a radio is a silent brick. Initially, people will scavenge for them in abandoned homes and stores, but this low-hanging fruit will disappear fast. That's when the true value of a hidden stockpile becomes apparent. In a barter-driven world, a single pack of fresh batteries could secure a hot meal, medical aid, or critical information. People will trade almost anything for the simple ability to see in the dark or communicate with a loved one. However, a finite stockpile is a ticking clock. Even the best batteries eventually degrade. The ultimate advantage lies not in hoarding, but in regeneration. A high-quality solar charger paired with a deep supply of rechargeable batteries creates a nearly infinite source of power. This capability makes you incredibly valuable, but also incredibly vulnerable. If word gets out that you are the person who can create power while everyone else is in the dark, you will attract unwanted attention from both desperate individuals and organized threats. Secrecy is your only shield. Your charging station must be hidden from view, operated discreetly, and you must guard against any light escaping your home at night. Store your batteries in moisture-proof containers, distributed in multiple locations to prevent a total loss. In the new world, power isn't just about utility, it's about control. Batteries will be the small, silent generators of hope and security. And if you don't protect your supply, someone else will use your power to light their way, leaving you in the dark. Bonus point 7, the seeds of self-reliance. We've covered the immediate essentials, but what happens when the canned goods run out and the scavenged food is gone? This brings us to our first bonus item, something that represents not just a meal, but a future. Heirloom seeds. In a long-term collapse, a small packet of non-hybrid seeds will become one of the most powerful assets you can possess. While your neighbors are fighting over the last scraps of non-perishable food, You will hold the key to creating a sustainable food source from nothing but dirt and water. This is a level of self-reliance that most cannot even imagine, and it will make you both a leader and a target. The critical distinction here is heirloom, or open-pollinated seeds. The hybrid seeds sold at most big-box stores are often designed for a single harvest. The plants they produce may be sterile or yield unpredictable results. Heirloom seeds, however, allow you to harvest seeds from your crops to plant the following season, creating a truly renewable food supply. This ability is priceless. But here's the danger. A thriving garden is impossible to hide. It is a living, breathing billboard that advertises your success and stability in a world defined by hunger and decay. It signals that you have food, water, and knowledge. 3 things people will kill for. Your neighbors, who may have laughed at your gardening hobby before, will see your green sprouts as their only hope. First, they will come to ask for food. Then they will come to ask for seeds. And when you can't feed everyone, their desperation will turn to resentment. Protecting your seeds means protecting your future. Store them in a cool, dark, and dry place, sealed in mylar bags or airtight jars with desiccants, to ensure their viability for years. Never store your entire collection in one place. Keep a small decoy stash of common seeds, but hide your most valuable and diverse collection somewhere completely unexpected, inside the walls, buried in a waterproof cache, or disguised among other household junk. In the barter economy, a handful of viable tomato or bean seeds could be traded for tools, fuel, or security. You are not just trading seeds, you are trading hope. Guard them well, because if your garden is overrun or your seed bank is stolen, you lose more than a harvest. You lose the ability to rebuild. Bonus point 8, the tools of repair and defense. In a world where you can no longer buy replacements, the ability to fix what is broken becomes a superpower. Our next bonus item isn't a single object, but a category: basic hand tools and fasteners. Think hammers, screwdrivers, wrenches, saws, nails, screws, and duct tape. When the infrastructure crumbles, so will everything else. Doors will break, fences will fall, roofs will leak, and gear will fail. The person who can repair these things will be indispensable. While others are living in decaying shelters, you will be able to fortify your home, repair your equipment, and even construct new solutions from salvaged material. This skill set, powered by a simple toolbox, provides security and control. The threat here is twofold. First, your tools themselves become incredibly valuable. A good handsaw or a versatile socket set will be a prime target for theft, as they represent capability that others lack. Someone who can't secure their own home will be very interested in the tools that allow you to secure yours. A simple box of assorted screws could be traded for a day's worth of food. Second, your ability to use these tools makes you a person of interest. If word gets out that you are the fix-it person, you will be inundated with requests. While this can be an advantage for bartering your skills, it also exposes you. It tells everyone that you have resources and are competent, which can attract the wrong kind of attention from those who would rather take than trade. To protect this asset, your strategy should be about stealth and redundancy. Keep a basic, well-worn set of tools handy for everyday use, but your main collection, your quality saws, your full wrench sets, your bulk fasteners, should be hidden. Store them in multiple, unconventional locations. A waterproof box buried in the garden, a false bottom in a storage tote, or hidden within a piece of furniture are all viable options. Learn to work quietly. Banging a hammer all day is an advertisement. Plan your repairs and construction projects to be as discreet as possible. Think of your tools not just as implements for repair, but as the instruments of your long-term security. They allow you to build, fortify, and maintain your world when everything else is falling apart. Without them, you are just another person waiting for the inevitable decay. Bonus point 9, the knowledge keepers. Our final bonus item is the one thing that has no weight, takes up no space, but is more valuable than anything else we've discussed. A physical library of survival knowledge. In an instant, a grid-down collapse will wipe out the internet, rendering terabytes of digital information inaccessible. All the YouTube tutorials, PDF guides, and survival blogs will vanish. In that moment, the person who has this information printed on paper in books, manuals, and binders will hold the ultimate advantage. This includes knowledge on topics like foraging for wild edibles, advanced first aid, water purification methods, animal trapping, food preservation, and off-grid engineering. This information is the software required to run your survival hardware. Why is a physical book so dangerous to own? because it signals a high level of preparedness and intellect. It tells onlookers that you not only have supplies but you know exactly how to use them for the long haul. A desperate person who sees you referencing a book on identifying medicinal plants will not just see a book, they will see a source of infinite wisdom that could save their family. They will want that knowledge, and they may conclude that the easiest way to get it is to take your library. Furthermore, the knowledge itself can be a burden. If you become known as the person who knows things, how to set a broken bone, how to fix a radio, how to tell which mushrooms are safe, you become a central figure. This makes you a target for those who would seek to control you, to exploit your expertise for their own group's benefit. Your defense is to treat your library like a state secret. Digitize what you can and store it on an offline, EMP-proofed device, but prioritize physical copy. Print out the most critical information. Buy used books on essential topics and recover them with bland or misleading dust jackets. A book on field surgery is less likely to be stolen if its cover says advanced accounting. Disperse your library. Keep your most used references accessible but hidden, while your broader collection is cached securely. In a world starved of information, your books are your guide. They are the silent mentor that will help you navigate 1,000 unseen challenges. They give you the power to not just survive, but to thrive and rebuild. This knowledge is the true currency of a post-collapse world, and it must be protected at all costs. Bonus point 10. The agents of cleanliness. When the world falls apart, filth follows. Sanitation systems will fail, garbage will pile up, and the risk of disease will skyrocket. In this environment, our next bonus item becomes a non-negotiable tool for survival: cleaning and hygiene supplies. We're talking about bleach, rubbing alcohol, soap, disinfectants, and even simple white vinegar. While others are focused on food and weapons, they will quickly learn a deadly lesson. An unseen germ can be as fatal as a bullet. The ability to sanitize your living space, clean a wound, or simply wash your hands will be a primary defense against the plagues of a post-collapse world. The danger of these items lies in their dual value. First, they are essential for your own health. A small cut can become a life-threatening infection without disinfectants. Dysentery from contaminated surfaces can incapacitate you faster than hunger. Your stockpile of bleach isn't just for laundry, it's a powerful tool for purifying large quantities of water, making it safe to drink. A bar of soap can prevent the spread of illnesses that will run rampant through unprepared communities. But second, this same value makes them a prime target for barter and theft. When your neighbor's child is sick with a fever from a preventable infection, your bottle of rubbing alcohol will look like a miracle cure. Their desperation to save their loved one will outweigh any social contract you once shared. Protecting these supplies requires a layered approach. Because they are common household items, they are often stored in plain sight under sinks or in laundry rooms. This is a mistake. You should consolidate your main stockpile and hide it. Store bleach in a cool, dark place to maintain its potency. Keep soaps and alcohol sealed to prevent them from drying out. A great tactic is to use decoy containers. Keep a nearly empty, dusty bottle of bleach in the usual spot, while your full containers are hidden elsewhere in the attic, a crawl space, or a nondescript box in the garage. In a world without doctors, you are your own first responder, and your home is your clinic. These cleaning agents are your first line of defense, and if people know you have them, they will come looking. Your ability to stay healthy while others get sick is a quiet, powerful advantage that must be guarded as fiercely as your food and water. Bonus point 11. The comforts of a collapsed world. In a survival scenario, we rightly focus on the physical needs: food, water, shelter. But a collapse is also a profound psychological battle. The relentless stress, fear, and despair can break a person faster than starvation. This brings us to our next bonus category: morale-boosting comfort items. This includes things like coffee, tea, sugar, honey, chocolate, and even tobacco or alcohol. These items provide no significant nutritional value, but their ability to offer a moment of normalcy, a taste of the world that was, is invaluable. They are the psychological armor that will help you endure the unimaginable. The threat posed by these items is subtle, but powerful. Initially, they will be overlooked, but as the weeks turn into months and the grim reality of survival sets in, the craving for a simple comfort will become an obsession. A person who has been living on bland rations would trade a valuable tool for a cup of real coffee. A parent desperate to calm a terrified child would do almost anything for a piece of chocolate. These items become a potent form of currency because they service a deep human need for comfort and relief. The smell of coffee brewing or the sight of you enjoying a small luxury can breed intense jealousy and resentment among those who have nothing. They might see your small indulgence not as a well-deserved break, but as a sign that you are hoarding resources and living better than they are. Your strategy for these items must be absolute discretion. They should be stored as if they were gold-sealed, hidden, and never displayed. Don't keep them in your kitchen. Tuck them away in the back of a closet, inside an old suitcase, or in a hidden compartment. When you do use them, do so in private. Don't brew a pot of coffee in the morning where the aroma can drift out an open window. Enjoy these small luxuries quietly, away from prying eyes. In the barter economy, these comforts can give you incredible leverage. Trading a small amount of sugar or a few cigarettes can build alliances or get you vital supplies without revealing your more critical preparations. But they are a double-edged sword. Used wisely, they can preserve your sanity and build bridges. Used carelessly, they will make you a target of envy. And in a collapsed world, envy is a powerful and dangerous motivator. Bonus point 12. The unseen shield. Our final bonus item is something you hope you never have to use, but will be desperately sought after when chaos erupts. Materials for concealment and gray man tactics. This includes things like dark-colored clothing, camouflage netting, large tarps, and even cans of flat black or brown spray paint. In a world without law and order, your primary survival strategy is to not be seen as a target. The goal is to blend in, to appear just as desperate and unprepared as everyone else, while secretly maintaining your resources. Being the gray man means becoming invisible in plain sight, and these materials are the tools of that trade. The danger of owning these items comes not from the items themselves, but from what they imply if discovered. A large roll of camouflage netting found in your garage tells a very clear story. You are prepared, you have something to hide, and you understand tactics. This instantly elevates you from a regular person to a potential threat or a high-value target in the eyes of others. While your neighbors are boarding up windows with brightly colored plywood, you might be using a dark tarp on the inside to block any light from escaping at night. While they are wearing normal clothes, you have a set of dark, durable clothing ready for moving unseen after dusk. These are not the preparations of an amateur, and if a desperate group discovers your cache of concealment gear, they will assume you have other, more valuable supplies worth taking. Protecting these assets means integrating them into your home before they are needed. Don't leave a can of black spray paint sitting out. Use it to darken shiny objects or containers ahead of time. Store tarps and netting in unassuming bags or boxes, far from your primary storage area. The best defense is a proactive one. Your home should already have light-blocking curtains or panels that can be deployed instantly. Your go bag should already contain dark clothing. The skill of being a gray man is a mental one, but it relies on physical tools. These tools are your shield against the hungry eyes of the desperate. They allow you to operate unseen, to protect your family without advertising your capabilities, and to maintain a low profile in a world where standing out can get you killed. In the end, the most valuable resource you have is the one no one knows about. Bonus point 13. The silent communicators. When the grid goes down, so does communication. Cell towers will fail, the internet will vanish, and the world will suddenly become vast and silent. In this disconnected reality, our next bonus item becomes a critical lifeline. A set of two-way radios. While simple walkie-talkies have a limited range, more powerful GMRS or ham radios can become your family's private communication network. This allows you to coordinate security, share information about threats or resources, and stay connected with loved ones without ever leaving the safety of your home. It's a profound tactical advantage that unprepared people will not have. They will be isolated and blind, while you will have eyes and ears beyond your own walls. The danger of owning radios is directly tied to their power. The act of transmitting creates a signal that, with the right equipment, can be pinpointed. Desperate people, and more importantly, organized groups, will be sweeping the airwaves looking for signs of life and preparedness. A casual conversation between you and a family member could be intercepted, revealing your location, your level of organization, and even clues about your supplies. Your private network suddenly becomes a public beacon, advertising your position to anyone listening. Furthermore, the physical radios themselves are a high-value item. A working radio set represents control and coordination, making it a prime target for theft. If a neighbor sees you using one, they will understand you are operating on a level far above them, and they may decide they need that advantage for themselves. Protecting this asset requires strict discipline, often called communications security, or ComSec. First, never transmit unless absolutely necessary. Every time you press that button, you risk exposure. Second, create a simple code or set of pro words to disguise your meaning. Never use real names, locations, or specific details about your supplies over the air. A conversation about checking the West Garden could be changed to visiting Station 3. Third, keep transmissions short and to the point. The longer you are on the air, the easier you are to locate. Finally, conceal the equipment itself. Don't leave radios sitting out. When not in use, they should be stored securely and out of sight. In a world of silence, the ability to communicate is power. It allows you to coordinate, to warn, and to respond. But it's a power that must be wielded with extreme caution, because the same signal that connects you to your family can also lead your greatest threats right to your door. Bonus point 14. The guardians of health and home. In a post-collapse world, the biggest threats won't just be human. The breakdown of sanitation and waste disposal will lead to an explosion in the population of pests. Rats, mice, roaches, and flies. These creatures aren't just a nuisance. They are mobile vectors of disease, capable of contaminating your precious food and water supplies and spreading sickness throughout your home. This brings us to our next critical bonus item: pest control and trapping supply. This includes everything from simple mouse traps and rat poison to insect sprays and fly paper. Maintaining a pest-free environment will be a constant, exhausting battle, and having the tools to fight it will be essential for preserving your health and your resources. The danger of owning these supplies is one of perception. While a few mouse traps might not seem like a big deal, a well-stocked arsenal of pest control products signals a high level of long-term planning.